Great seeing my next guest back in action. He's going to be taking on Ryan Spann at UFC Fight Night on December 19th. This is a stacked card. Of course, I'm talking about Misha Cirkunov here on the program. Misha, how's it going?
Good. Thanks for having me.
No, it's great to talk to you, man. It's been a bit, like I was saying, September 2019 was the last time you had a fight. I was there. It was a great performance. You got the win over Jimmy Crute. So I think the question everyone wants to know is, why haven't you been in the cage for so long?
Yeah, I had an injury. I had some injury at training. I've been training in January, and I got injured, so I had to take some time off, do surgery, just recover, and so it's just, when you train hard, when you're pushing the kind of like the limit, sometimes you get injured, and that's an unfortunate part of the game. It's just, you're out of the game for a bit, so.
It happens. No. For sure. How challenging was this year just, being on the sidelines? I mean, thankfully, we had COVID, so stuff was kind of backed up a little bit. But, it must have been pretty challenging not being able to fight.
Yeah, and it was a little bit of a weird time with the first, lockdown when everything got closed down. And then I was injured, so I was not able to train, and then just slowly getting back, and things are opening up. And now, again, it's kind of weird, but I've been training. I feel good, and just trying to get things back on the road.
No,
and
for sure.
December 19th, the show should be happening. So, everything looks fine right now.
Yeah, no, I agree. Were you in Vegas the entire time throughout this whole thing, or did you go back to Canada at all?
Yeah, no, I wanted to go to Canada, but there's so many different laws, and quarantines and whatnot, and I stayed in Vegas. It was kind of, the gyms are starting opening up, and even now when everything is closed in Canada, things are still open in Vegas. So I enjoy that. I enjoy being able to still enjoy life too,
No, for sure. What were you doing, other than, I guess, rehab, what else were you doing, to pass the time? Because you're used to training all the time, and when you're injured, obviously you can't train at all.
Yeah, no, it was a little bit tough time when you can't train, when you're doing it all the time. But I slowly got into mountain biking. It was just light pedaling, just getting back in shape. And but yeah, no, definitely a challenging time when you cannot do your work, do your job.
No, for sure. And financially, it must have been pretty tough too, because when you fight, obviously, is when you make all the money. So has it been difficult having to probably go into your savings, I imagine? Is that how you've kind of been able to, keep the bills paid and all that?
Yeah, no, 100% for sure. You can't kind of with fighting, if you don't fight, you kind of don't eat. Mm-hmm. And that's a problem, right? And sometimes, unfortunately, you get injured, and then it puts you back a little bit, and it's unfortunate. It'd be nice if there was some sort of reserve for injured fighters.
Right. But, yeah, make things a lot easier.
Maybe in the future we'll have something like that.
We did see you in the UFC cage, though, earlier this year. I saw you cornering Johnny Walker, your former opponent. I guess you guys have kind of struck up a bit of a friendship. When did that happen? Because I know you spent a little bit of time at Extreme. I guess you guys became friends?
Yeah, actually, no. After the fight, we've been chatting a little bit, and when he was here in Vegas, we trained a little bit, and I kind of helped him out a little, and then he had a fight here, and he just needed somebody to help him out a little when he got in here, to give him some sparring and just some training, and so sure, I helped him out.
And good training partner too. I mean, he's a light heavyweight, so it's iron sharpen iron, right? I'm sure you've learned stuff from him as well, getting to train with him.
Yeah, 100%. He's very tall, explosive, fighter that I used advantage. I used advantage of me training with him just to understand him a little bit better, and how he moves and how to deal with those tall, athletic guys a little bit better.
Awesome. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You don't have a manager right now. You deal directly with the UFC, or do you have someone that's handling all that?
No, I handle everything myself.
Yeah, no, good for you, man. Don't have to pay that 10%. I'm sure that helps in times when you're on the sidelines. You don't have to pay anyone, which is great.
Yeah, no, 100%. We only have a short time when we actually making money. Mm-hmm. It's a long lifetime journey, and whenever we do make money, it's good to be able to save some of it, right? Instead of just giving out one, thing is, today you have it, tomorrow you don't have it. So you got to be wise with your spending. But if the manager helps you get the money, hey, that works too. There's some managers that are, doing a great job.
Absolutely. Let's talk about Ryan Spann. Pretty notable opponent, 18-6 record. What do you know about him? How do you feel like you match up against him?
I know as much as, I guess, most people. And he's definitely, there's no easy fights in UFC. And tough opponent. He's kind of game guy, goes in there and does his job. And I'm planning to do the exact same.
You would have seen him in Vancouver because he was cornering Uriah Hall for his fight on the same card, right? So I'm sure you've seen him before.
I've seen him around, yeah. I've seen him just randomly here and there. I've seen him at the Johnny Walker fight. I've seen him a few times, yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. So who are you getting to train with right now? You mentioned stuff's on a bit of a lockdown. Who are you sort of training with in terms of bodies?
We still have like some training here at Extreme Couture that we do. The gym is still open. It's under kind of like more of a strict rules, but there's still guys that are coming around like all the time from all over the place. Lately, I added a new training partner, Roman Dolidze. He's been really, really helpful, really good. And then like the usual guys, like Tim, Ronnie, all the bunch of heavyweights. And, we always in Vegas. There's always good training.
A lot of big bodies there, which is nice. Yeah, Tim, who's been on a roll, he's been doing really well in Bellator.
Yeah, he been coming out and doing some good training, and just sometimes you're fighting, and it just takes time to reach that level where you feel comfortable, where your skills and your mental aspect and everything kind of like realign together. And for some people, it's sooner than later, and for some people it takes time. But once they find themselves, they put up great fights, and they're definitely good to keep an eye on and see their potential.
Absolutely. You mentioned being off for a while and not being able to train. We've heard of the COVID-19 weight. Some people, eating a little bit more because they're at home. How's the weight cut going ahead of this fight?
The weight cut, I'm pretty much like same as always. I'm when I'm close to the fight, when I'm training a lot, the weight comes up pretty easy. So for me, the main thing is just not getting overtrained, if anything, because the weight comes up easy. I never had issues with that. I always made weight. But yeah, if anything, I'm just trying to not to overtrain, because the training is good and you can train every single day. So I'm just trying to not to overdo it, if anything.
Who's going to be in your corner for this fight?
Same usual guys, same guys I use all the time.
So is it Ray Seffa will be in your corner? I believe he's cornered.
Yeah, he'll be there. Yeah. Ray Seffa, Rob. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And how's this fight playing out on the 19th? You've been finishing a lot of your opponents. Is that what we're going to see here on December 19th?
Ryan Spann is a very tough guy too. So I think we're going to fill each other out, and then we'll see. I've been doing a lot of work, kind of like everywhere on standing up. Everyone knows like I do have ground, so I still been rolling. I've been doing ground, some wrestling, boxing, so kind of been doing a little bit of everything, trying to play the game everywhere and trying to be like just complete fighter and not push certain things too much, and just trying to be kind of trying to be just better as a fighter and show fans a really good fight. Where
do you feel like a win over Ryan Spann puts you? Because, that win over Jimmy Crute that you had in your last fight is looking even better now, because he just came off, really nice win in his last fight. You got to be up there, I would think.
Yeah, no, Jimmy Crute, actually, after my last fight, he dismantled both guys, two of his fights, like really quick. And but I knew that. Before I fought him, like I knew that he's not. First of all, before I fought him, he was undefeated, so I knew it's a very tough guy who has chin, and he throws hands, and he's scrambly. So he kind of like presents a bunch of different threats from many different angles, Mm-hmm. But so I knew he's going to do well after we fight, just like Nikita, when I fought him. I knew he's a super tough young guy who's going to be doing really well after too, And I know I have skills, and I know I have skills to beat all those guys. It's just I have to feel good that day and I do have skills to put those guys, all of them, away. And a win against Ryan Spann will will open opportunity to fight, obviously one of those top 8 kind of guys,
Yeah. Well, I think it'll remind people because you haven't fought in a while. And I think people forget how big that win was that you had in Vancouver last year. So I think, you go out there and you beat Spann. I think you're right back in that driver's seat, so to speak, right?
Yeah, because Spann is also, he's not a slouch. Spann is one of those guys that today he's ranked here and tomorrow he's going to be fighting, top 5 kind of guy.
Yeah.
Because he's an athlete and he's like a real specimen and it's a real fight. All the real people that know fighting, they know it's not an easy fight for either man, So, and this fight will definitely elevate us towards one step closer to fighting all those
contenders,
other contenders, and in top 10, no problem.
Before I let you go here, any plans for the holidays? I know the focus is on December 19th, but I imagine you're staying in Vegas for Christmas this year. Or are you and Brittany heading back to Toronto?
Yeah, no, I would love to head back to Toronto. I didn't see my mom for some time. However, I'm a little bit worried to go to Toronto.
Yeah, things are not good there. All the gyms are closed. It's crazy. So
yeah, no, I'm just hearing there's so much insanity going on and all this mandatory closures and all this. I don't know how I would deal with that. Mentally, I like having a lot of open space, mountains, being able to go on a bike, all the gyms, everything's open here. I don't know. Maybe I'm old fashioned,
Yeah, no,
I just enjoy life, and I don't want to go. It's kind of like, oh, you want to go to Toronto, and I'm thinking go in Toronto in a 1-bedroom apartment and in a lockdown. That sounds like a jail time to me.
I know. I was thinking the same thing because I left Toronto in 2018. I moved back to Vancouver where I grew up, and I'm in a house now. I couldn't imagine being in a condo in Toronto right now with the lockdown. That would suck.
And with the lockdown, imagine
you're stuck there.
Lockdown. Crazy.
Yeah. No, I know,
crazy.
man.
But yeah, no, I'm just gonna wait. Hopefully by the summertime, there's everything will be lifted, and summertime I would love to visit Toronto. I haven't been there in a while.
Good stuff. Misha, thanks so much for doing this, man. We've been doing these for years. It's great to catch up with you. Glad to see you're back in action, man. That's the biggest thing. Just remind people where they can find you on social media, and if you have any sponsors or shout outs, the floor is yours.
Yeah, no, if definitely I would love if people follow me at Misha C911 on my Instagram. And just give me a follow and turn in December 19th, and it's going to be a great fight.